Good afternoon. It is 12:30 on your Monday. I'm Julie Broughton. This is Take 6. I hope your day is going well. We're so happy you decided to spend a little bit of time with us this afternoon for your afternoon news brief. Now we are dealing with some clouds and some showers, especially if you're in our coastal areas. We will have a check of your forecast, talk about who has the best chance of seeing some showers as we move through the next couple of days. And we'll also talk about when a cold front is coming and what that will mean as we head toward the end of the week. But first, if you've been following along with us on News 6 or here on News 6 Plus or online on clickorlando.com, you know that we partner with the Salvation Army every year to get results for the Angel Tree. Distribution Day is tomorrow, so we are so excited about that. And the Salvation Army gets results for families in need year-round. But you may recall back in September, they asked the community for help to help rebuild their men's shelter, which was really in need of a lot of repairs and disarray, and they needed some money to make that happen. So News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken went to check it out with Major Ken Chapman, who gave us a tour. Here's what we found.
I got an email about a week ago from the Salvation Army, the spokesperson asking us for our help at News 6 because they know we get results. Specifically with this. So this is the men's facility where they house the homeless men and homeless veterans. So as you can see, we're here, and this is what they need help with.
We have leaks, and all of these buckets, we're actually running out of buckets that come from the first floor in the 50-year-old building. I'm Captain Ken Chapman, Area Commander of the Salvation Army here in Orange and Osceola counties.
And Major, we've worked with you many times over the years.
You are always getting results for us, and we appreciate it.
And we're going to try again today. We're in the room directly next to the kitchen.
Yes.
So when this stuff floods, it affects what you're doing in there, the cooking.
It does. You know, the whole building, 50 years old, is just really just deteriorating.
That is a grease trap here in the corner of the kitchen. And every couple of weeks, for some reason, the drain pipe connected to that trap starts to back up. So the grease comes up out of the pipe and overflows onto the floor as you're cooking sometimes.
As we're cooking 1,000 meals a day.
What do you do?
Well, we call a cleaning service. We have to pay for that, and we keep on with our business. We do not let this building stop the services that we offer every day in this community.
When we pulled in, Major, just across the street, we saw a mini homeless community. I mean, the problem is just outside your door.
It is, and the demand for our services has increased 38% in just 1 year.
Just a year? Why is that?
There are people who can't afford groceries and rent.
What happens if you don't get this done?
Well, eventually we'll have to close the building down. It just won't be habitable.
You got to stop serving.
We have no choice, and I don't know how close. That could be a week away, it could be a month away, I don't know.
The total cost to renovate this building is $8 million. They already have 4 from the county and city, as you heard, and even a private donor. But they still need $4 million more. I know that's a lot, but hey, they'll take a little. They'll take anything. If you would like to donate, you could pull out your cell phone right now and click on this giant QR code, pull up your camera. You could go to their website. We put a link for you inside the story on clickorlando.com, right on the home page, or come down here in person. They're giving tours if you want to see what we just saw. For now in downtown Orlando, Eric Von Aken getting results. News 6.
Okay, a reminder, that tour that Eric just gave us, that was back in September. Now News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken is joining us now. And Eric, you have a very exciting update since we have last seen any updates about that story. So what do you have for us?
Okay, so Julie, the major called me about a week ago or so, and he said, so something's happening. Because of your story, he said, we got a call from a gentleman who wants to take what he has and he wants to give it all to us. And I said, okay, well, what's all? And he said, enough that we could actually do this. And I should tell you, Julie, there was so much urgency. What I didn't realize at the time with that story that you just played, So we aired this on September 23rd, and the major said that by the end of the year, they needed to raise that $4 million to match the $4 million that was promised from the city and the county to equal that eight, right? And so he said that they had a deadline. But here's the thing: what I didn't know at the time is they had been trying to raise this money, this $4 million, for 2 years. So he called us because, as I said in the story, like he was starting to sweat and he needed to get results. We came out, we did that story. This story, he says, motivated that gentleman. So finally, I want to say in the last 48 hours or so, the one who said that he was going to donate did. I guess, there's a bunch of paperwork involved when you're donating a large sum. So, Julie, it is official. We are proud to say the Salvation Army has now confirmed they received a donation of $2.5 million.
Oh, wow.
One person donating $2.5 million, as I've been telling people, I think all day. It's probably the biggest example of getting results, the biggest show of getting results that I have seen in the 21 years that I have been at News 6. We've done a lot of incredible things and a lot of things that move people in many ways to help. But this is so tangible. It's such a large amount of money, and it's going to make a difference, Julie, for so many people.
Yeah, and just the need, watching that story, that tour you did in September again, and talking about the grease trap backing up and all the work, 1,000 meals a day. This will impact so many people's lives in such, like you said, a tangible way. Now, I know you're working on more about this for our newscast later today. Have you gotten to meet the gentleman or talk to the gentleman, or anything else you can tell us? This is such incredible news.
So there's not a lot we can and will say about this gentleman. In short, Julie, he has asked to stay anonymous. As so many gracious and generous donors do. He doesn't want any attention. That's not why he did this. He's older, from what I understand, and this is something that he's wanted to do, or I should say, he's wanted to do something like this. He's wanted to make an impact, leave a legacy. Again, he's worked his whole life to be able to give back like this. He was, from what I'm told, he was looking for a reason. He was looking for something that was going to help people for, if not decades, maybe the next 100 years. This shelter has been around for 50 years. So this is looking ahead to the next 50 years. And he, according to the major, he was just so moved by not just the shape that this was in, but the story that we were telling, how we were investing, how we have been invested in the Salvation Army, that he wanted to invest in it. And when I say investing, I mean, we're here at the Joy Center, which we're going to be here again tomorrow. We spent a lot of time here tomorrow. We've spent a lot of time here. All these gifts that you see behind me are because of the community and all the stuff that they have done. So shopping over the past couple of weeks, picking angels and shopping for these kids and these seniors, and then dropping all of this stuff off here. So it goes on and on and on. This gentleman realized that the Salvation Army helps in so many different ways, and this is a way that he could help them continue to help.
Yeah, and the major always says that need has no season. We hear a lot about the Salvation Army, of course, during Christmas with the angel tree, but this money, like you said, will impact people for decades. And seeing the Joy Center behind you right now, it's always, you've been out there so many years, I've been out there so many years. It truly is magical. But I imagine, Eric, with this news today, the mood has to be even a little more joyous today out there.
Julie, when I first found the major here this morning, we had to get here early because he's got a lot to do. He spent about 35 minutes or so with us, and then he said, "I got to move on to the next thing," because they're getting ready for this tomorrow. But he was almost in disbelief. I said, "Are you pinching yourself?" And he said, "I think I am." He's like, "It's almost not real." He got a little teary at some points. because he's retiring. You know this. He's been doing the 7 years. The Salvation Army requires that you move on at a certain point. And so he would love to keep doing this, but he's hitting the age where it's time. He's saddened about that, and he said, this has been bittersweet. Like this is kind of the culmination of his career here at the Salvation Army, being able to envision this dream, right? Where he's looked at this building that serves. I mean, you saw in the story. I hate to use the word literally because my daughter uses it like every other minute, but literally there were people outside the door of the Salvation Army. You saw in the video. I mean, they had set up their own camp. They were sleeping there, and so he had this vision, like we got this building. It's falling apart. It's going to close down. I want to do this with it. I want to make it better. I want to make it last for another 50 years. And the only way to do that is to get the community on board. And in his last few months here with the Salvation Army, he did it. And we did it. And we all did it only because everyone at home did it.
And every year we talk about this when we get the stats for the Angel Tree and realize the staggering numbers we're working with. We always think, oh my goodness, can we pull this off? And the community always goes above and beyond. And it truly is one of the best experiences to get to be out there and be reminded of what a wonderful community and what a caring community that we all get to be a part of. And this just makes it even better. And I'm so excited to be out there with you tomorrow and so excited to see what you have for us coming up later today on News 6.
It is going to be exciting. I'll share this with everybody. We're in a different spot this year at the Joy Center. I don't know, Julie, if you've been out to this one so far. It's not in the same places that it has been in the past. And the way this works, I think everyone knows, is we in the Salvation Army have to find a suitable warehouse, basically, that is not being used in order to house all of this stuff, and also to have the ability to where people can pull up at the outside tomorrow to get their gifts, where everything it moves like a well-oiled machine, right? So we're in a shopping center. This is a full-on legitimate shopping center that a lot of people go to. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes tomorrow with people who are shopping and probably have never seen this. And they're going to see these lines through the parking lot of cars with people, anxious and then overwhelmed once they get the gifts that they asked for their kids. It's going to be great.
It's always a powerful day and just meeting so many wonderful community members and volunteers. And it's fabulous. So we're super excited. And Eric, I know you've got a lot to do today, so I will let you get back to work at the Joy Center and we will see you later.
Bye, Julie. Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will have a check of your full forecast, including some rain in the forecast, as well as another cool down on the way. It's just been a roller coaster lately, and we're also going to talk more about the situation we've been seeing a lot in New Jersey, those mystery drones. We have one of our certified drone pilots and photojournalists here at News 6 who will join us to talk about what you need to know if you are thinking about getting a drone for the holidays. Stay with us. We will be back in 2 minutes. It is 12:45. I'm Julie Broughton. Welcome back to Take 6. We will get a check of your forecast for you in just a moment. I know those of you in our coastal areas, especially Brevard County, you have been dealing with some rain bands throughout the day, and we'll continue to keep a few showers around as we move through the next couple of days. But first, a big story we've been seeing trending on national news, and really every time you log into social media, people talking about those mystery drones, the lights in the skies over the Northeast, especially in states like New Jersey, now been reported areas like New York, Maryland, and even into Ohio. Here's a look at some of that video, and we haven't had any official word as to what exactly this could be, what could be happening there. But I do know that Christmas is next week. Wow, that's weird to say, especially since I haven't finished my shopping. But one thing that's not on my list, but maybe on yours, a lot of people get drones for holidays, and drones come with rules and regulations. So to talk more about what you need to know, our friend News 6 photojournalist and FAA certified remote drone pilot, Jim Kavanaugh. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. Jim, I think this is your first time on Take 6. Is that right? Your first time
That's
as
true.
well. This is exciting. So we're happy you're here. You have so much knowledge. Jim, by the way, is also an engineer for us. So if you have anything that's broken, Jim knows how to fix it. But Jim, first of all, I know it's hard to log onto social media and not see people talking about these videos, these drones. What was your reaction when you first started seeing some of this?
Right. It seems to be all over the place, and
Yeah.
that's what everybody's talking about right now. And some of the observations I've been able to make looking at it is some of the videos we're seeing are at night. You see the lights flashing on what appears to be a drone. Those are actually called anti-collision lights. So and this is part of the FAA Part 107 protocol that if you are going to fly a drone at night, you need to have these anti-collision lights on there. So, and that's really so that the remote pilot in command, which is the other word for the drone operator, so that they can see where that drone is. And that's really important because part of the FAA's rules is that you need to maintain a visual line of sight between yourself and wherever that drone is flying. It needs to be within 3 nautical miles, 3 statute miles, actually. So as to exactly what's going on here, it's hard to take a guess, really, but I can see that it appears to be that at least some of them are following the rules that they're supposed to be. The operators should be close by so that they can see what they're doing. They really should be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, anyone who's watched some of our stories, we have, as you are one of our drone operators, people who is a certified drone pilot. And there are rules and regulations, like you mentioned, with these lights, and that the operator pilot should be within a visual sight. So talk about the policies and rules we follow here at News 6 when we're collecting some video with drones. It's not just a free for all.
No, it's not. So how we do it here at News 6, we have to follow FAA Part 107 rules and regulations. And some of those include being a limit of 400 feet above ground level when you're flying. You have to maintain, like I said earlier, a 3 statute mile visibility between you and the drone. Also, a drone operator is only allowed to operate 1 drone at a time. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but that's part of the FAA Part 107 rules. When we're flying here, it's important. The first step we always take is to inspect the aircraft, make sure that it's safe to fly, make sure that there's no parts loose, nothing's about to fall off of it. Once that's in shape, everything looks good with that, we turn to where we are. I think that's one of the most important parts we have to see. Are we in restricted airspace? Do we have to look out for that sort of thing? We have apps that we use that will let us know if we are getting close or we're in airspace, and we can actually fly in certain types of different classes of airspace with permission. So that plays a part in it also. One of the other things we're looking at is weather. So if it's raining out, we're not going to want to fly. If we're flying at night, we need to have those lights on it. We have to look at different things. We're looking at clouds. We can't really be near clouds when we're flying because we need to maintain, again, that visual line of sight. And then we also have to look at something, and Julie, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, something called a METAR, which is a way that we can look at the weather and interpret the weather conditions.
Yeah, that lets you know what the weather is in different levels of the atmosphere. So that's important when you're flying through different levels of the atmosphere. And Jim, I work here with you and other photojournalists who are certified drone pilots, and I did not know all of those rules and regulations. So I think probably a lot of people don't know that there is so much that goes into it. And maybe they're thinking, oh, I'll get my kid a drone for Christmas, or I'll get my friend or my spouse a drone for Christmas. If you are thinking about adding a drone to your family, what are some things people need to think about and be aware of before they do that?
Right. So probably the biggest thing is the difference between flying commercially versus recreationally. If you're flying for fun, the rules are more lax. They're not as strict as everything I mentioned earlier. Um, and what that comes down to really is the intent. So what I mean is, if you're just going to fly and you're just doing it for fun, then you don't have to worry about too much. But if you're going to fly commercially, then you need to follow those rules and make sure, that you're within the guidelines of the FAA. So yeah, again, if you're flying for fun, the rules are more lax. Otherwise, you need to be very strict about how you follow everything.
Absolutely. Jim, this has been so enlightening. I'm just curious, how long did it take you, or what was the process to get your certification? Because you seem to know a lot.
It took a few months probably.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted to go through and I wanted to make sure that I could score well on the test. And the test is actually 60 questions, multiple choice, the one that I took at least. But it was an interesting experience, and it's just another tool to have in my toolkit that I'm glad to have. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, well, you have lots of tools in your toolkit, as I mentioned. I think you do just about everything around here, which is, a great skill set. Jim, thank you. We hope you'll come back someday. We haven't scared you too much.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and as promised, we have a check of your forecast. Like I said, as we check out the radar for you, we have seen some showers, and that will continue to be the case as we roll through the afternoon. Here's a look at the radar for you right now. We've had that persistent onshore flow in place since last week, so that easterly component to our winds has been modifying the air mass, picking up on some of those showers, and pushing those inland for us. As we go in a little bit closer for you, you can see more showers off the coast of Brevard County, and where you see the areas of yellow, red, and orange, that's where we have the heaviest rain. So areas like Rockledge, Satellite Beach, Palm Bay, you could pick up some decent rainfall totals throughout the day. Now, although we're seeing quite a bit of cloud cover, temperatures are pretty warm in some spots. 79 right now in Orlando. Areas that are currently seeing some rain, a little bit cooler, like Ocala, you're at 68 degrees right now. We'll go to an afternoon high kind of right around where we are right now. So we'll continue to see, again, temperatures generally in the mid to upper 70s. Talking about those winds, right now we're seeing winds coming in out of the east, pretty breezy at Cape Canaveral, 16 mile per hour winds, 14 mile per hour winds officially in Orlando. Here's a look at our clouds and rain forecast. You can see that trend continues throughout the afternoon and into the evening of showers rolling in from the Atlantic, and then some of those holding together as they move into our western counties. That will be the case for us again tomorrow. In fact, rain chances in our coastal areas as we head through the next couple of days, bumping up to around 40 to even 50% at times, and then we will be tracking a cold front that moves through Wednesday into Thursday. So here's your 7-day forecast. Rain chances for the interior today around 20%, a little bit higher for our coastal counties. That's where we keep it for Tuesday and Wednesday with our highs in the low 80s. Thursday, again, we get that front through here. Behind that, we see a cool down for the weekend. Now, we have been taking a peek at our extended forecast into next week, and we think temperatures will be back in the normal range by Christmas, which is still a week from Wednesday. So we'll talk more about that for you coming up on News 6 starting at 4. So we'll have a full breakdown of everything you need to know. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. If you have any comments or questions for us at Take 6, head to clickorlando.com/Take 6. Let us know what's on your mind, and I will see you on TV starting at 4.